Okay, so my husband has made me these little crates and this trough that I wanted for my table to fit these lamps in. There he is back there. So these are these oil lamps picked up at an auction somewhere. They're little things of oil in there, and then they burn, and so they fit inside at each end. And this is going to be my centerpiece of my table. I have had this candelabra now since we got married. It was a wedding present actually, and I'm going to put it somewhere else, my coffee bar or some other area. And I wanted this trough to go down the table. We have quite a long table. We have church pews on each side of the table that are about, what did I say, 9 feet there the other day we measured. So the table's quite long. Actually, the table has a leaf out of it right now. Normally we have 2 leaves this size, which are 18 inches. But it was putting my husband a little bit too close to the fireplace, so he wanted to be a little further away as he sorts through all these Pokemon cards of my son's. So I've got these. The trough is just for decorations, and then at the end of each trough, I want to have these little bins to hold napkins, which we measured the IKEA napkins to fit, because most of the time I get those, and those are 20 centimeters across. So he's going to put a divider in. Actually, it's going to go on this side, so it'll be crossing the bottom, but just before the handle. So this will be for the napkins here. And then salt and pepper. And we have 2 of them because our table, again, being so long, it's a constant thing where we're moving the salt and pepper all over the place. So I want to have one of these at each end that has all the things you need, whether it's the napkins or salt and pepper or butter or whatever you might need at the table. So I have... This is actually cedar fence board that he made them out of, which are quite nice. He's put nails in and glue to attach them. And not sure if you can see from the, let me slide this one over. And this is 36 inches long. So he's taken a drill and drilled 3 circles on each to make a nice, actually it's quite an ergonomic candle, I noticed too. Your fingers kind of fit right into little slots, or mine do anyway. Yes. So, you know, at each end you can easily pick it up and move it if you want to put a tablecloth down. But it's cedar, and I wanted it to be, you know, have that great patina. And that could happen on its own naturally. I don't know if I have to leave it outside for that to happen or whatever, but I'm going to speed up the look a little bit with some fusion paint. I have, this one's ash. These are like the 2 favorite colors I keep using everywhere else. And picket fence. So I'm going to do some dry brushing technique on this to give it a little bit of an aged look, and then naturally, hopefully it'll age underneath the paint too. So the spots that I leave bare now will get their own, you know, their own age look later. And I have my, I love this paintbrush. I think it's called Stellmeister. Maybe I didn't spell that or pronounce it right. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the gray as a bit of an undertone, and then I'm gonna put the white over top. So I got my brush ready, got some paper towel to take a lot of the paint off. One thing with these fusion paints is that they have a nice screw off lid, which is great than a regular like Andy Sloan or a regular paint can. However, because they have a twist off lid, if any paint gets in the lid, it is really hard to get it open sometimes. So let's see if this will work, because often I have to run it under hot water. Maybe if I use the paper towel. Yeah, I got it. I got it, miraculously. Little dab there on my brush, and then wiping it off. So just a faint amount of paint will come off. And then trying that out. I don't know how much light you got here for the wood piece. But I'm going to continue in this fashion where I'm just adding a little bit of color here and there. Just to give that sort of gray weathered undertone look. I can go back to my paper towel and take off the thicker part, see if I can get any more on that way. Try it this way. So a little hard to tell where the, you can see the little brush mark here, here, and here. And I continue this on. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I put the gray on. So there's some heavier spots and some lighter spots. I did not do the inside, mostly because I'm incredibly lazy right now. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. Meow. Meow. This one has come in one other time, and then somehow she got back out again. And then she just recently came back in again. She had very sharp nails. And I think this is her third night in, so I'm hoping she stays. So this one I had to run under hot water and use a cloth to open, but I got the white open. So I'm about to do the white now. Oh yes, I was saying how lazy I was. I'm not going to do the inside because mostly you're not going to see it. And it will, again, age on its own anyway. And there's already some gray in the fence board right there. So yeah, you're not going to see it. I'm not going to bother painting it. That's more work than I'm willing to invest right now. So again, this is Picket Fence by Fusion, and I'm going to do that. I did rinse out my brush. I didn't use the soap yet, so you still see some gray paint, but I wanted it not too, not wet. So I took paper towel and dried it as much as possible, and when I'm done with the white, I'll wash it with the mineral paint soap I have, which works really, really well. Hi, kitty. You really want to be on the camera, huh? Okay, so I got my paint on my cap here. Just put a little tiny bit on there. Brush it off my paper towel. Hard to see white on white, but it's there. And then start, I got that cap back again. Start putting some white over top of the gray. So I'll keep doing this till I get the look I want. So here I have the sides finished. Like I said, I was looking for sort of a natural weathered look, and because these are cedar, I'm hoping they weather anyway on their own here. But to give it a bit of a look now and hopefully add to it in the future when it does its own natural patina, I've added some gray undertones and some white. And I have the trough done, and now I have to do the boxes. Okay, so I want to decorate the boxes my husband made for me with mason jars with flowers, and I did 3, this dark gray, which is called Ash from Fusion, and 2 of the white, which is Picket Fence. And then I found this little short lamp we had in our motel office, and it's actually it's a touch base, but the touch part's not working. Some hands. So I don't know if we're going to put a switch on it or just put a really sort of dim light bulb on it and use it like a nightlight. But it's quite short, and I don't have a shade for it yet, so it comes with this little flange for the top. I don't even know what kind of shade, and then this thing screws on the top of that. I'm not even sure what type of shade this would actually be, but I'm going to try to make something, fabricate something, or I don't know, whatever. Actually, I thought an Edison bulb would be nice too. I guess it would depend on how tall they are, because I had a hard time just getting, well, with the flange on, you can't even get the light bulb in. Like, even now, you can just barely squeeze it through. So this one's actually incredibly bright. With no shade, it's just blinding. And I want to put it in my buffet for my coffee bar. So I thought I'd paint it ash to match the mason jars. Because this whole area is that black buffalo check, black and white buffalo check. So I'm getting a black and white thing going on here. So here are the boxes that my husband made me. This is how I've decorated them. My oil lamps I got actually from an auction, and they look like concrete, and I painted them white as well. It's the same color white as the mason jars. It's the Picket Fence and the Fusion chalk paint. This is actually a one-piece decal I have had for years from the Dollar Tree. I put that one on this side, and I have a different one on the other side. This one is definitely sticking better. I didn't do anything that's really just rough wood. It's not even sanded. So I wasn't sure how well it was going to stick, but for $1.25, it doesn't cost me anything. And I love how it looks, and I love this one because it actually has a gray shadow behind it. The other one, I can flip around and show that one, but this one actually looks nicer. And maybe a spray adhesive. One day I might pick up a can of that if this is falling off and spray that on. So here's the back side. And like I said, these are just $1.25, but I found that I have to keep pressing it down. It seems like, especially here, keeps coming up. Like I said, this is just unfinished wood. I didn't even sand it, so I wanted it to look really rustic, but again, I wasn't intending originally to put decals on it, but I happen to have them. I was going to stencil on, but I needed black. I didn't have any black. So I was going to pick that up, but I figured, well, since we're rooting through the craft drawers, I might as well try these out and see how they look. The end pieces, I have these because we have a very long table. Although it's a little off kilter because I was going behind, but it's 9 feet long. I just picked up those flowers from the dollar store. Actually, the two in the white, those roses I've actually had for many years now. I had only bought enough for 3 vases, and I realized I could fit 5 in. I kind of rooted around the house to find more white flowers. I had to find those two. I don't know if it's hard to see, but I have pine cones in there. I just picked those up from the yard for my winter decor. And anyway, I just threw them in there to fill up the gap. But I've seen somebody take sort of burlap and kind of wrap it around. So I might experiment with that, and maybe I'll change the look up a bit. And of course, for each season, this could be changed out and made to look more festive for the season.